How do you react to this, Major General G.D. Bakshi? This is a shocker coming in from Qatar. 8 of the Navy officers have been sentenced to death, and now it's grabbing the headlines now. And the families allege that they have been kept in the dark up until now.
You know, this is shocking. This is absolutely shocking. We have 8 former Navy personnel, 3 captains, 4 commanders, 1 sailor, who were running a navigation school for the Qatar Navy, which the Qatar Navy had been all praised. They were part of this Al-Dahara Global Technology Consultancy firm, which was providing consultancy services to the Qatari Navy. They were doing a terrific job. One of them, Captain Tiwari, has been given the Bharatiya Pravasi Award based on Doha's recommendation for the good work that he has done. Such naval training schools have been opened in Singapore, in Thailand, in Qatar. Now suddenly, you know, they were arrested, not now, they were arrested 30th August last year, 2022. And they were suddenly, no charges were disclosed. They were just taken into solitary confinement. God knows what has been done to them, torture, etc. I can't rule that out. But suddenly we find that this case was taken to the criminal court, and they have pronounced them after 7 hearings in camera guilty, and they have been given the death sentence. Now this cannot be taken lightly. It is being rumored that there are charges of espionage, of passing on secrets of a stealth submarine to Israel. But nothing is there in writing. No charges have been shared with the Indian government, with the families, and even the court's detailed judgment is awaited so that we can at least get to know what the charges are. If it is a case of spying, do you need 3 captains, 4 commanders and 1 sailor who will all be spying for one country? The entire training team is spying for Israel. It doesn't stand to reason. It doesn't stand to logic. This is a case on par with Kulbhushan Jadhav. Kulbhushan Jadhav was also a Navy officer who was working with the Merchant Navy in Iran. He was kidnapped, taken to Pakistan, insanely tortured and made to, admit to all types of false concocted charges. There we had taken the case up to the International Court of Justice. And we had fought it. I understand that this is a delicate geopolitical moment, but this case didn't start today. This case is of August 22, last year. So the fact of the matter is that we will have to intervene quite energetically. You can't just sentence 8 Indians to death. You know, Indians with enviable records, who have served their country, who have served the Indian Navy so dedicatedly, they can't be thrown to the wolves. I mean,
back in April, General G.D. Bakshi, it was India. It was External Affairs Ministry who had said that India will not put pressure on Qatar or interfere with the legal process, but we are keeping a close watch. But now it has come down to a death penalty. What do you really expect from the External Affairs Ministry now? What are the options for them?
Look, the options are that if it is the criminal court, there is a lower court in Qatar and a higher court. So the criminal court has pronounced them justice. The next step is supposed to be the Court of Appeal, and the highest court there is the Court of Cassation, which is the equivalent of our Supreme Court. But obviously we can challenge this verdict in these, but the verdict has to be shared with us. The charges has to be shared with us. Consular access was given only in October last. And it's only on 1st October now this year that the ambassador has met these officials. You see, my point is that if you have to spy, you have to pass a document. You need just 1 officer, 1 sailor, 1 man. How can 8, that means 3 captains, 4 commanders, 1 sailor, how can all of them be guilty?
Right.
They were teaching navigation to the Qatari Navy. The Qatari Navy was very happy. And now we are being told that it is on the instigation of Pakistan, which has been muddying this thing, which has been trying to grab that navigation training contract. Because our boys are professionally better, they get it. And Pakistan wants to elbow us out. So that means Indian officers will be sentenced to death. And we will just sit down and do nothing about it. It cannot be accepted. I'm sure we will, the government will intervene at the highest level. You know, Prime Minister Modi has such a high standing in the Middle East. I think if necessary, it should be, I'm sure he will intervene to get them out. 8 people being sentenced to death. It's not even locked up in prison for 1 or 2 some months or some years. This is a death sentence, if you please. What about their families? What about their record of service? What about the fact that they are Indian citizens? They can be treated like this because Pakistan complains against them. The ISI plots against them, and we all just lie back and say, oh, we don't want to spoil relations with Qatar. There are 8 lakhs Indian expats working in
Absolutely.
Qatar.
There have been
We are buying a whole lot of LNG. I think then we can look for somewhere else to shop.